So we're up here at Lime Rock this weekend, and we ran into Jamie Orr, and Jamie has a pretty interesting Volkswagen. I mean, we love Volkswagens, but this one's a little different than what we're used to, so we've asked him to give us a tour of the car and tell us a little bit more about it.
And of course, like any good car enthusiast, I am delighted to talk about any of my cars, so thank you for enabling me.
No problem, it's what we do.
Exactly, and genuinely read the magazine for years. My dad is the biggest subscriber, saves every issue. So this is really cool.
You.
So yes, this is a 1990 Volkswagen Golf Country. This is entirely as the factory made it. The Volkswagen factory in Germany made the body shell, etc., but then it went down to Austria to push Steyr, who, as we talked about, made mopeds, but also made a whole bunch of 4x4s. So this is not just bigger springs. This is a full all-wheel drive, well, Syncro with a full trellis. It has a big frame underneath and everything's upgraded. The bull bars, everything is factory. It's still very much a Volkswagen product though, so if you need to change your bulb,
that's
open.
cute. Yeah.
But they only made 7,000 or so. It only lasted a couple of years. A lot of them went to people that lived in the mountains, Switzerland, Austria. Never sold in the USA.
So how did you come by it?
Well, they're now 25 years old, so we can bring them in unmodified. This one I actually brought in for a friend, and it went into his car collection, and he only collects white cars. So he takes most of his cars and paints them white, and this arrived in its factory, beautiful gloss black paint, and I fell in love with it. So thankfully this is a wrap.
Okay. And
then when he got bored of it playing musical cars, I purchased it and sold my more daily driver one. But we're getting off topic. So 5-speed manual, you did talk about the Mark II Golf GTI, and essentially this is that same engine.
Okay.
Which in the Mark II with its power to weight felt sprightly.
Yeah, not so much with four-wheel drive?
Not so much with four-wheel drive, and also just as a big parachute to try and move through the air.
Aerodynamics were not the primary goal?
No, not really. They did parts bin it, so the front fender is off of the most sporty GTI only sold in Europe.
Okay.
So they say, hey, it's got wider fender flares, so they used it for this. So they didn't reinvent the wheel per se on there. Another weird slight motorsport anomaly, it has the Speedline wheels from the factory.
Yeah, they're cool looking wheels.
And they're so light.
Yeah.
Which you don't normally think lightness and off-roading and strength, but I've never really seen bent ones.
Not every plan is fully cooked.
I mean, it works. I went cross-country in February through the ice storms and camped on top of one.
It's pretty capable off-roader?
Yeah, I mean, I went, the Badlands, went and camped right on the edge of the cliffs up there, and it was great. I was more worried about getting blown off the side of the mountain than it not making it somewhere. So yeah, low speed, a billy goat. It's better at climbing things than it is on the highway.
Yeah, okay. So tell us a little bit more about the suspension. So I remember there was a Syncro van again, wasn't there?
Yep.
Okay, so does it use a lot of those same parts?
It's similar, nothing really crosses over to that, but it's very much the same kind of setup, reverse from the Vanagon. So front engine transverse with a small transfer case output box bolted on the back of the transmission, which goes to the rear diff. But it's really overbuilt. So it's got the sway bars on the rear, and you can upgrade those, and we know which car came with the better one.
So the lift is a little more sophisticated than just putting some knuckles in the springs?
Oh no, yeah, it's a complete ground up design underneath with a Golf body mated to it, essentially. Yeah. So in theory, you could probably swap the body with a normal one. Yeah. But if you tried to re-engineer what's underneath, because I mean, it's an independent rear suspension, as opposed to anyone that's raced a Mark 1, 2, or 3 knows that.
It's a beam axle.
That trailing beam, exactly. So it's
okay, so it's independent at the rear.
Yep.
And I noticed this panel in the back is not from an A2 Golf.
Yeah, there's so much parts binning going on. So when you, of course it's very German, so it doesn't just swing open, it's got the rod.
It must be correct.
Exactly. But this door striker is just a normal one from a door.
Yeah, I recognize it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll wear out like it did on my A1.
Exactly, exactly. But yes, where the license plate should have been, they didn't just leave a recess, they made a bespoke plastic panel that was only available for this model.
You better not break that.
Yes. Yeah, there's, again, doors, seals, things like that.
And even the mud flaps look factory.
Yes, and on the bigger fender flares. so that you can't use normal ones. So it's this.
Yeah, those are bigger than I have on my A1 GTI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some parts you don't want to damage, and they're getting to that price point where it would be fun taking it through the woods and scratching it up, but
pick something else.
Probably.
And these Nerf bars are part of the deal too, huh?
That's all factory.
That's cool.
This one, literally the smoke tail lights from the GTI, that's factory. The position of the rear wiper is incorrect, so I will correct that. No one else would notice. The tires are incorrect, but a cool upgrade.
Yeah.
The interior with the country.
Can we look inside?
Absolutely.
So the decals were part of the package too?
Yep. And I mean, they did sell higher end ones.
Yeah, the inside looks, other than the badge on the glove box.
You feel right at home in it.
Yeah, no, it looks very familiar.
Yeah, the same GTI steering wheel, the same seats, just specific pattern. But this was also, going on to the motorsport side, the same era as the FIA homologation Golf Rally, which was for rallying, and they had the creative name of just calling it the Golf Rally. Yeah. But it has a very similar Syncro drivetrain, but that was the box fenders, and they had to make 5,000 to qualify for Group A at the time. But it has a pretty similar birthplace in that same model year, essentially. So, and really ever since this, in Europe, Volkswagen has sold a Syncro and later 4Motion all-wheel drive Golf to this day. So the Rally was really the predecessor of the R32, and the Golf R had the same forced induction, all-wheel drive, lowered sports car Golf, whereas this, I think this was ahead of its time. It had that same formula of lifting a normal car. Well, and
vintage SUVs are gotten real popular, so you're part of that trend.
Exactly. This is just the late 80s Volkswagen crossover, way before they called
back before it was cool.
Something like that.
This is pretty cool. Now, this isn't your first rodeo. This isn't your only Volkswagen project you've ever done. You've got quite a reputation for building crazy VWs.
A little bit. I've somehow dedicated my entire life to doing things like this, so I've done...
There's worse things you can do with your life.
Sure, exactly.
Trust me, I know.
It's an addiction at this point. I recognize it, which is the first step. With the roof tent, I've done Pan South America in 2 weeks in a Golf GTI with 400 horsepower through the Bolivian salt flats, and
just another day at work.
Sure, exactly, and shipped a 3.6 liter VR6 overnight to South Africa, flew in, put it in a Mark I Golf, drove it across the country there, took it on a racetrack, shipped it to Germany, took it on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So yeah, lots of silliness. The next big thing really soon, maybe by the time this is out, I've built a concept of what a GT model of an existing available car would be with Volkswagen in the factory. Oh, wow. So that, in my career, is a really exciting one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Working with the factory.
So if our audience wants to learn more about what you've done, where can they find you?
You could just Google my name, which will probably be in the description, and if put VW next to it, it'll really get you there fast.
All right.
But yeah, and then genuinely, I missed out on the eBay auction when you sold off the project VW Fox, which
that's a little more, a little bit more racetrack oriented than what you've done here.
So I mean, not a race car by any means, and my collectibles are probably too collectible to race, but no, any excuse to get on a track anywhere. Yeah. So wheel to wheel, I mean, that Fox, that was it, that one I feel like slipped through my fingers, but I love reading.
There's always another chance, so.
Yeah, but a Fox, see, that was it. Worlds colliding between maybe some Lemons action, but no, so genuinely I love what you guys are doing.
Good to spend some time with you. If you like this sort of stuff, go to grassrootsmotorsports.com and please hit the subscribe button on our channel.
Support brands that support Grassroots Motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. Visit crcindustries.com to learn more.